Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Guns N' Roses True Story. And today we're talking about one of my favorite songs that Guns N' Roses has ever written, and this one is 14 Years. Now, I did a semi-drum cover of this on my channel. It was me playing to the Rock Band 3 custom of 14 Years on drums. So go check it out if you guys haven't seen it. Let's get started with the song. So this is a song that was written by Izzy Stradlin and of course Axl Rose. So this song appears on Use Your Illusion 2. It's the second track on the album. So Matt Sorum plays drums, Duff plays bass. Both lead and rhythm guitars are played by Slash, and vocals and rhythm guitar are played by Izzy. And Axl actually plays the piano on this song while Dizzy Reed plays the organ, and Axl also provides background vocals on this song, with Izzy really doing the lead vocals. So the first time this song was ever performed live was in Los Angeles at the Pantagas Theater back on May 11th of 1991. So before Guns N' Roses actually went out and did their stadium tours and did their arena tours, they did a bunch of warm-up gigs at a bunch of small theaters, and this was one of them. And you know, when Izzy was in the band back in 91, 14 Years was a pretty common song. If they didn't play at every concert, they played every other show. However, when Izzy came back to the band for 5 dates back in 1993, when Guns was playing across the Middle East and in the UK, they never really played 14 Years ever again, and it wasn't until 2012 when Izzy joined the band. But it has been played a total of 33 times between 1991 and 2016. So the demo for 14 Years varies a little bit from the final version that's actually on Use Your Illusion 2. So an earlier demo actually used different lyrics, though the first verse and chorus are slightly modified, while the second and third verses were given a complete makeover. Parts of the demo's second verse would be used in the third verse of the final version, while the demo's third verse is a slightly modified version of the demo's first verse. Hopefully you guys could follow all of that. We've also had band members speak about the song in the past. So Izzy was interviewed by the Vox back in 1991. Prior to the release of the Illusions records, he said, "We called this one song 14 Years. Axl phoned me up and said he'd written a song called 14 Years too," which is really a bizarre coincidence. So when he did that, I told him, well, maybe we should use mine because it's already finished and we can get on with these fucking albums and get them out sometime in 1991. So what we ended up doing was he heard mine, we tracked it, then he sang me parts of his song and made them like a bridge or chorus or something. We also had Axl introduce the song once in LA back in a concert the Guns did back in July of 1991. Axl said, "This is for all those who have the impression that we're any form of an overnight success. This is called 14 Years." So Duff also commented on the song in an interview he did back with the Onion AV Club back in May of 2011. He was talking about how back in the day, before Guns N' Roses hit it big, how West Arkeen, who wrote some of Guns or co-wrote some of Guns N' Roses songs on Appetite, and also on the Illusions records, was his next door neighbor. He talked about how West had basically bought and leased a drum machine and a 4-track cassette recorder, and how they had actually used it to demo some of the songs that would later come out on GNR's albums. He basically talked about how he said, "I had an apartment and West had an apartment before we had a rehearsal space, and it became an encampment for about 2 months for the band. It's So Easy, Yesterdays, and I think 14 Years. A lot of songs were recorded on West's 4-track. I Think You're Crazy came out on West's 4-track. Sitting in an apartment, we'd play a lot of acoustic guitars, so I think Easy was recorded on acoustic guitar. The thing about our songs, we played them all on acoustic guitar. Night Train we wrote on an acoustic guitar because we'd write them in little cramped apartments." Now, if I had to guess what year this song was written, I would probably say 1989. If you guys watched the 1988 Ritz concert that Guns did, during the band introductions, Axl introduces Izzy as a guy he's known for 13 years. So if you add one more year, it'd be 14 years. And you know, this was actually shot in 1988, so I would assume that it was written in 1989. Also, let's talk about some notable concerts that Guns played where they actually played 14 Years. So one concert that Guns N' Roses did was at the Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View, California. So just before playing 14 Years, Axl mentioned how 14 Years is a tribute to how long Axl and Izzy have been working together. This was also the first concert where they did Locomotive live as well. The Guns N' Roses concert later that year on August 13, 1991 in Helsinki, Finland. This was the first of 2 shows that Guns were playing in Helsinki, Finland. They had Skid Row opening for them. So this was the actual first show of the Europe tour on the Use Your Illusion tour. And it was funny because they opened the actual concert up with Mr. Brownstone, which is usually the second song played in the set list. So Axl thanked the Finnish crowd for giving them Hanoi Rocks, And then Welcome to the Jungle was actually played instrumentally for the most part. Apparently something happened to Axl. Then without Axl, the band played 14 years. After some time off, Axl comes back and the band plays Welcome to the Jungle completely. Also, the opening to Paradise City at this show was a bit different. It starts out with Slash jamming on the opening chords and Axl singing the first 2 lines, just the 2 of them. And while some people think that the song was written about Izzy and Axl's friendship, and even though Rose seemed to confirm that in a live show that I talked about earlier, some people think that the song is likely about a guy that has a long relationship with a girl that has been a constant burden to him, and he lets out all of his feelings in the song. Now, the song was actually covered on a Guns N' Roses tribute album that came out back in 2003, so it was called Guns N' Roses Tribute Album, Bring You to Your Knees, a tribute to Guns N' Roses. And while some of these songs you're able to find on YouTube, I wasn't able to find all of them. So a band called Vox, V-A-U-X, covered 14 years. And I've listened to a couple of songs that are on YouTube, like Dillinger Escape Plan's cover of My Michelle, and a few other songs. And for the most part, I didn't really like what I heard. It was like, at least from the bands that seemed to cover the songs, it seemed like a lot of like heavy metal bands just taking on an alternative take on the Guns N' Roses songs. And then back in 2003, a Seattle radio station called 99.9 KISW had a countdown of the top 999 rock songs of all time as voted by their listeners. And Guns N' Roses had a bunch of songs in the top 999. And of course, one of them was 14 Years. It ranked 602nd on the list. Now, if you guys want to check out the demo I talked about earlier, I've linked to it down below. This is a rough mix demo, and it doesn't feature Axl on vocals. It just features Izzy on vocals. So go hit the description box down below, and you can go check it out. So let's talk about where this song ranks on the Guns N' Roses Best to Worst song list. It ranked number 34 on Spin.com's list. They said the Izzy sung 14 Years slips right in the GNR sweet spot of half freewheeling billiard hall tune, half smasher guitar rager. And they said that it's a shame that Axl actually has to come in and sing on the chorus because it seems like Izzy wants to sing the song himself. And then according to Q Point, they were pretty generous. They said it's the 16th best Guns N' Roses song, so it ranked pretty high up on their list, and it would definitely be high up on my list as well. And then LA Weekly, their rank was a little closer to Spin.com. They said it's the 29th best Guns N' Roses song. So that basically does it for today's video. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know where 14 Years ranks for you. Is it one of your favorite Guns N' Roses songs, or is it one of your least favorite? Comment down below and let me know. And did I miss anything in this video? Let me know in the comment section, and be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for all things related to Guns N' Roses, and be sure to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. The links to my social media accounts are down below. So thanks for watching, guys, and have yourself a good day. Take care.